Welcome to another episode of where we will be discussing all things relationships with yourself,
I love me,
your spouse, and others. So, in this episode, we are going to be talking about apologizing.
You owe me an apology.
Ooh, child. Now listen, Linda. I know that can be hard for some of us.
I reject your apology.
Let me just take a sip. But before we dig in, I want you to drop in the comments and let me know what you sipping on. All right. So let me tell you a little bit about what I got up in my little black mug. This is, what is that? Simply brand peach juice. It's pretty tasty. And I am drinking out of my black mug that I got from El Salvador. So this is my black El Salvador mug, and I'm drinking on the Simply, is it Simply Lemonade or Simply brand, whatever, but it's a peach drink. It's really, really good. You should try it. But anyways, let me know what it is that you are sipping in. Sipping on. Okay. Oh, Lord, child. Okay, y'all. Let's get into it. Okay. Let me get serious. All right. So, have you ever found yourself in a situation where, like, your spouse apologized to you, but it sounded like you were listening to Charlie Brown's Teacher because all you heard was, and then you start walking around with a stank attitude because you just, like, it just didn't resonate with you. And then they like, listen, I told you I'm sorry. You need to just get over yourself. Look, if you can identify, then this is what I need for you to do. I need you to put your drink down for a second. Go on and go to the kitchen, to that junk drawer. We all got one. And grab you a pen and some paper and get ready to take some notes. Because I am going to break down for you how to apologize. Yes. Because you guys, apologies are crucial. They are a crucial part of any relationship. And when we make mistakes or when we hurt someone that's important to us, we have to acknowledge our wrongdoing and express our remorse. You see, according to Dr. Gary Chapman and Jennifer Thomas, the author of The 5 Languages of Apology, 5 different ways that people typically apologize and that they prefer to be apologized to. So when couples call me for coaching and for counseling, one of the main things that they say that they struggle with is communication. Communication can be challenging when you have not been able to massage the emotional intimacy component. And knowing how to apologize is beneficial because you can sincerely and effectively tap into the emotional needs of your partner, hence communicating effectively. So we're going to go over the 5. Get ready to write. Now, I'm not going to say this in no particular order, okay? So we're just going to dive on in. The first of the 5 that I'm going to talk about is expressing regret. Expressing regret is simply saying, I'm sorry. It's you acknowledging what you are sorry for specifically. And it's all about recognizing that you've done something wrong and that you owe your partner an apology. Plus, you're remorseful. You admit that you're guilty or admit the guilt, and you recognize the pain that you've caused. Now, y'all, this don't count if you're only saying that you're sorry because you got caught. Or if you say that you're sorry and then you insert but, right? So, no. This is not the time to give a reason. Okay? So, if a person's apology language is expressing regret, they don't want to hear all of that. Now, you're probably saying, Nakia, that's a no-brainer. But y'all, we have to admit, a lot of us allow pride, we allow guilt to get in the way of this kind of apology. To simply say, I'm sorry to someone can be like eating nails for some people. But I don't want you to underestimate the simplicity of this type of apology being a huge impact. Okay, so I want to give you some examples for each apology. So we are going to use the same type of example for each apology. Persons whose apology language is expressing regret and your partner is running late, they will be okay with hearing, I'm sorry I was late for dinner. I feel bad that I didn't call. Okay? So you admitted that you were late, and then you expressed remorse. Jesus be offense. Remorse by saying that you're sorry that you did not call. All right, number 2. Y'all ready? Number 2 is accepting responsibility. Now, that's exactly what it is. It is when you want the other person to accept responsibility for their actions. I want you to admit that you were wrong for what you did. No excuses. For a person whose apology language is accepting responsibility, bro, you gotta own it. Sis, you gotta own it. There's no projecting it onto someone else. There are no buts and no blame. Be able to explain what you did that was wrong. All right? So for our example, that would sound something like, I'm sorry I was late for dinner. I should have called. There's no excuse. I have no excuse. Okay? So that's for that apology language. Number 3. Okay, so put on your paper. Number 3. Number 3 is making restitution. Woo! Now listen. Making restitution. This is, look, I want you to think of Kansas, the show me state, because this is making restitution. This apology language is all about the action.
Take your words and turn them into action.
All about the action. Less about the verbal, more about the action. This is finding a way to correct the situation because your words are not enough. It's more like, okay, so what you gonna do? How you gonna do it? How you gonna make this up to me? Okay, so for this apology language, if you have read Gary Chapman's other book, The 5 Love Languages, then this is when you need to insert your partner's love language so that you can make restitution with their love language. So it'll be very helpful if you know what your partner's love language is. So what that would sound like is, I'm sorry I was late for dinner. And then this is what what can I do to make things right? Or this is when you're just going to do something. I'm sorry I was late for dinner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to treat you to a spa day. Or I'm sorry I was late for dinner. So tomorrow I'm cooking. Tomorrow I'm taking you out, because I want to make it up to you. Or listen, you can do all of it. I'm sorry I was late for dinner. I'm going to treat you to a spa day. And I'm going to take you out. And then I'm going to cook for the next week. All right. So number 4. Number 4 is planned change, or sometimes you may read that it's genuinely repenting, okay? But planned change. This one isn't just about verbalizing that you feel bad about upsetting someone or upsetting your partner, but that you actively won't make the same mistake in the future. So this requires a change of behavior. You know, I really think that this is probably my daughter, my 8-year-old's apology language. Because, for instance, y'all, I was combing her hair, and she is so tender-headed, and she got a head full of hair. Lord Jesus be offense. But she is so tender-headed, and I'm combing her hair, and because she's always squirming and ouching and all of that kind of stuff, you know, I just say, I'm sorry, because I genuinely am not trying to hurt her. I don't want to hurt her. And so I'm like, I'm sorry. And so one day she grabbed the back of her head, she turned, she looks at me, and she was like, why do you keep saying you're sorry, but you keep doing it? So I guess she was like, ma'am, the behavior hadn't changed. So you apologizing means nothing to me. So that is this apology language. It is the promise to do better in the future. It is you saying that this is never going to happen again. This is you verbalizing your desired change for what has happened, right? So saying sorry is not enough. So Justin Bieber, is it too late now to say sorry? Is it too late? Yeah, it's too late to say sorry, bro. It's too late. All right. So basically, Justin, let me leave Justin Bieber alone. This is, don't make excuses. Make a better or make a specific plan for change. There should be a sincere drive to do better. All right. So let's go to our example. I'm sorry I was late for dinner. Next time I'll call to let you know if I'm going to be late. All right. Number five. The fifth apology language is requesting forgiveness. This apology language is all about asking for reconciliation. This allows the other person time to process the hurt before assuming everything is back to normal. So it places the power back into the hands of the person that was hurt. So our example would be, I'm sorry I was late for dinner. Will you forgive me? Now, with this apology, you got to be ready, right? You got to be ready because you just asked, will you forgive me? So be ready if the person says, no, I don't forgive you. You got to be ready for that. Okay? So you can even say, I'm sorry I was late for dinner. I pray that you will forgive me, or I pray that you will someday forgive me. Okay? So there you have it. These are the 5 apology languages: expressing regret, accepting responsibility, making restitution, planned change, and requesting forgiveness. Now, y'all listen. As hard as it is to do, apologizing is the first step in reconciliation. Learning what you and your partner's apology languages are can make that process easier, and it would avoid misunderstandings. Okay? So, there you have it. The 5 apology languages and their importance in romantic relationships. So I pray that this episode has been helpful and informative. And I will put the link in the description where you and your spouse can take the apology languages quiz. Remember, connection and communication is key. So don't forget, subscribe, like, share, and hit that notification bell. What I want you to do is drop in the comments your apology language, or that was a little bit fast. Drop in the comments your apology language, or what your takeaway was from this episode. As always, thanks for tuning in to